The Department of Energy's Energy Information Administration says it sees natural gas use dropping over the next year, while coal use will make a comeback in 2010. This is coming from the EIA's November short-term energy outlook. It says natural gas consumption will decline 1.9% in 2009 to just more than 62 billion cubic feet and another 1.1% next year. Low natural gas prices led to an increase of natural gas use in the electric power industry from January till August of 2009 from the same time in 2008. EIA says it expects natural gas consumption to remain near normal as winter begins and then drops off in 2010. Coal-fired generation is expected to grow throughout next year. In fact, it's expected 4,300 megawatts of new coal-fired generation will come online by 2010, adding to coal demand. Our executive editor, Margaret Ryan, joins us now to talk a little bit more about this. So natural gas increased in power generation but dropped off overall. How did that happen?
Well, that's basically because of industrial use. I mean, when we talk about natural gas as an energy source, we tend to forget it's also a feedstock for major chemicals, petrochemicals. And the recession cut back demand on both counts, both for the fuel and for plastics, fertilizers, and other chemical products. That took the biggest bite out of natural gas demand over the last couple of years. And it's also been helping lead to the record storage that we've been reporting, of course, along with the big increase in production from the shale gas fields. So, you know, as it gets colder, there's more drawdown for winter heating, but out of those storage facilities. But, you know, many forecasts see a mild U.S. winter. One of the big questions for the market ahead is the severity of the winter we're facing.
Right now, we're hearing about increased use of coal, so that means new coal plants. All we hear about are plants being canceled.
Well, these are coal plants that were started early in the decade. It takes longer to build a coal plant now, and with the ones that are being canceled are ones that don't actually have anything in the ground, really. What we're talking about are ones that were already permitted, were quietly building. We didn't hear anything more about them. They were a reaction by utilities to the fact that from the 90s, practically all the capacity they built was natural gas fired, and so they were trying to balance out and turning back to coal for baseload. It's roughly 9,000 megawatts in the 2 years, 2009 and 10, that's coming online. It's virtually all in either Texas, the West, or the Midwest. And of course, they're coming online. Owners want to use them. They're in baseload. They're putting them right in baseload. So they're going to displace natural gas, even if it might be slightly cheaper to generate with natural gas, because the owners have to use them. And overall, coal is generally a lower cost generation. They'll be far cleaner than older coal plants, of course, but they are still coal. What we have here is EIA. I heard about this. I know we talked about it back in August when Credit Suisse analyst Terry Viswanathan flagged it. And this is the first time that I've seen EIA recognize the influence and flag it particularly.
Okay, so let's talk about prices now. What's all this going to do for natural gas and for coal?
Well, for coal, I don't think very much. Coal prices are a little low, but when you bring a plant online like this, you get your contracts for supply online, in line. You have them up for multiple years. You know where your coal is coming from. You're not going out in the spot market the day before you open and saying anybody got any coal. So it's not going to have a lot of effect on coal prices per se, but for natural gas, it will. I mean, the EIA and Credit Suisse both see it hurting. They say the prices have encouraged fuel switching to natural gas since about 2007. So any of the switching that's economic that could take place basically has happened. So you don't have any more. You have some analysts out there saying, oh, well, natural gas prices stay depressed. We'll see more switching, and they're saying no, that's already happened. The capability just plain isn't there. The Credit Suisse just this past week said, look, the NYMEX band a price band for 2010 is running $5.50 to $6.80. Their analyst says, no, we think it's going to be $4.50 to $5.25. So, not even an overlap, completely below. The big issues that are out there, How much production is really going to fall is with the rig count going down, but maybe bouncing a little bit. How much will we see actually lost? The strength of the economic recovery, you can flip your own coin on that.
Right.
I mean, you know, everybody's guessing.
And also the impact of you know, climate legislation here and the talks in Copenhagen. I guess those are too far out to talk about price impacts from fuel switching.
Those are really too far out for, you know, for the 2010 era, because, you know, when you're building a coal plant, a gas plant, so on, it takes a year, several years to get it permitted, to do it, and that's really much further out than the pricing we're talking about. You know, the record cold winter is the other factor, much nearer term, that gas analysts and traders are looking at. There's a lot of disagreement about how cold it'll be. You know, Credit Suisse, as Viswanath says, there's so much gas in storage that in effect it doesn't matter. It can't create, even a very severe winter would not create a supply constraint and drive the price up.
Wow. Okay, Margaret Ryan, thank you.